Colour for UX and product designers. So when working on a project, designers often rely on fundamental colour relationships, which are known as colour harmonies. The four main types are opposite, which is also called complementary colours. That's pairs of colours which are positioned opposite each other on the colour wheel. So you can see here that orange is opposite to blue, and those two colours have been used here, and there are more examples of opposite colours here. You can notice that these colours pop quite a lot. Monochrome, which consists of various tints, shades and saturations of the same colour, these two examples. Analogous, which features three colours that are next to each other on the colour wheel, for example yellow, orange and red, but these colours could easily be much closer together, e.g. several types of blue, or blue and green. And then there's triadic, using three colours that are at the points of a triangle drawn within the colour wheel. For example, yellow, red and blue, shown in a design here. So how do you deal with colour palettes in practice? Well, generally you'll start out with a brand colour, and so I've used mine here. And I've applied opposite colours, so I've found the opposite colour to this teal and applied it to this design. I've also tried out these two opposite colours on a design, and these work quite a lot better because one colour is darker and the other colour is brighter and lighter, and that means you've got more contrast. Then there's monochrome, so again that's taking one main colour and creating a series of shades of that colour. And then there's analogous. And then there's triadic. Okay, so how do you in practice apply that? So starting with the brand teal, I noticed though that it lacks contrast. If I use that teal on a white background for text, or use white on a teal background, it will barely stand out. So I realise that I need a darker colour for text. So I've chosen an indigo blue. Now what I'm lacking is a colour that pops and really draws attention to things like call to action buttons. And as we saw above, yellow is opposite to dark blue, so I've created this yellowy gold colour. I've then added three neutral colours, white for the page background, and a light cyan and a light grey for things like section backgrounds or secondary buttons, maybe hover button colours. And this gives me some design flexibility. What I've done here is I've placed a rectangle in Figma set to hue, which means that these colours interact. And I can check their contrast, and I can see that I have a really dark contrast colour, a lighter one, and a couple of mid ones and light ones there. I see the indigo and gold as being opposites, and the three blues are more in keeping with a monochromatic palette. A bit later on, I decided that I didn't want to work with the gold colour anymore, and so I changed to a kind of a dusky pink instead, and in this palette the pink is closer to an opposite colour of the teal, so it still pops against the brand colour. If I then apply that colour palette to the designs that I used before, I get quite a pleasing result. And you can see that I'm using the pink here to draw the most attention to this button, but I'm also using a bit of pink in the top right there, which kind of draws the eye through the design. You can also see here that these gradients work quite nicely. The teal and the indigo, and the teal and the pink and the white works quite well as gradients. After applying that to a website design, you can see how that might look. And this is one of the practical exercises that you do in the course Design Principles. And you can find out more about that at artfully.click/course.